Live. Got my messages on. So when you hop on, make sure you let us know where you're watching from, even if it's a replay. We love hearing from you guys. So welcome back to Training Wild Burros. We're here to help you guys through on your own journey. And today's topic is resistance and the responses that come with it. I'm not sure if I said that. This is day 11 of day 50. So 11 days in a row we've gone on. There's been days that we've had hiccups.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just getting smoother. Less
Yeah.
hiccups, less kinks.
Yeah.
More streamlined.
More streamlined. So let us know if you can hear us, and again, where you're watching from. So one thing to keep in mind is that resistance, it's communication. Even though it feels like, do you see these, Dan?
Yep.
Yep. So even though it can feel so frustrating in the moment, it's a way for your donkey. Hey guys, welcome, and let us know where you're watching from and if you can hear us. So today's topic again, resistance and fear responses. And there's 3 different types of resistance that we might see. One is bolting. I can hear from Wyoming. Welcome.
Hello, Wyoming.
Jamie, she or he, I'm not sure, been with us like I think every single day.
Well, we appreciate your stick-to-itiveness.
Yes, absolutely. So the first one that maybe a donkey is not typically awesome. Welcome. Not typically going to do is the bolt.
Yeah, that's they can bolt and they do bolt.
Wisconsin.
Just not as nor near as often as they'll just get stuck in the mud and not do anything.
But I do think with we're glad that you tried, Jamie. We're glad that you're with us. I do think that with the wild, sometimes we see more bolting than with domestics. Although Honk bolted on you once.
Yes.
She got away from him.
She got away from me. She slipped in the mud and fell.
Did Honk?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I not remember that? Oh my.
Probably a trauma response. It was pretty scary.
So before they go to bolt, so bolting will be the first one of these fear responses. They're going to give us all kinds of signs that they're nervous, but they're really subtle. Donkeys are stoic. And one of the things that you see from a donkey being so stoic is that their signs that they're nervous are really subtle.
Very subtle. Yeah, they are. I wouldn't want to play poker against a donkey. They've got a pretty good poker face.
So their eyes focused on one spot, their ears focused on one. Ooh, I have a BLM burro and one who was used. Oh, look at, I can see all of them now. I can see all of the comments at one time now. I have a BLM burro and one who was used for roping. Oh,
So
nervous.
was she the one being roped? The person with the BLM that was used for roping, was the donkey getting roped, or were they roping from the donkey?
We've had people call us about donkeys that were used as like roping dummies, like instead of cattle.
Yeah.
And what a way to make them terrified, right? There's no release. She was roped. Yeah, that can be a really hard thing to work through.
That must have posed some challenges for you to work through.
So all those little signs that we need to watch for, sorry, Cooper just banged it. All the little signs that we have to watch for. So a crimped, that's the wrong word. Like their tail being clamped up against their rear.
Yeah, when they've got when their tail is tucked tight to their hiney. Yeah, that's not a relaxed donkey.
No. And just because you see a sign that they're nervous doesn't mean you need to stop, but maybe you need to slow down.
Yep.
Give them more breaks. Help them see the release so that they know that they found the right answer. So their eyes being all focused on one area, their ears being focused on one area, their head being a little bit higher. It doesn't have to be a lot because they're stoic. Their tail being clamped. What other signs would they or us be watching for? Maybe stomping.
Yeah, suddenly there'll be flies. When there is no flies, you'll see some occasional foot stomping, like there's flies, but it's 17 degrees in the middle of December, so obviously it's not flies. Those are some subtle ways to release a little stress.
And tensing their body. I don't think I ever used to notice that, but now I do. Like if I'm asking, like right now I'm doing a series on leading, and I'm releasing that video today, guys. And then Rosa will have, I think it's 4 more videos. I have them all done. Rosa's will be released on Wednesday and the leading ones on Mondays. So when they start to like tense their body, if you watch for that, you're gonna know that they might go to from that tense to freeze or bolt.
Yep.
Heck yeah. All right, so let's see. What we're gonna do when they do that is just give them extra breaks. And sometimes their breaks need to be a few minutes. My favorite training tool in the whole wide world is my app. It's not Apple, it's a Fitbit watch because it has a timer on it. And I have such a type A personality that sometimes I just really need to set the timer so that I actually give them enough of a break. It can be an obstacle. Maybe not for everybody. Dan's type B, so he's totally chill with taking a break.
Yep.
And I'm like, we have to do another round.
I'm really good at doing nothing.
So make sure you give them enough breaks. And then remember when you're working with them, you really want to have, like, if you're spending an hour, 15 minutes of asking questions and 45 minutes of standing with them. That's right. Standing with them, not even necessarily petting them the whole time. Remember when we're giving them a break, it's so that they can process. Now, if somebody asks you a complicated question and now you're thinking, and then they start blaring music or asking you more questions, you can no longer process what you're thinking
Right.
about. The same thing happens when we start petting and loving on them. Sometimes they really need that time to be petted and loved on, and other times they need us to stand with them and be like a statue.
Yeah, and don't touch them. Just let them. Don't interrupt their thinking. Their thinking is it's very accurate, but it doesn't happen fast.
Oh,
Yeah,
donkey time.
Yeah, you write a letter to a donkey, you're gonna get a reply in the next 10 to 30 days.
All right, so then that's bolting. The next one would be freezing. Now, I talked about this a little bit. I didn't work with Squirrel today, but he was freezing up some yesterday. And when they're freezing, it's pretty obvious because they're just not moving. But the best response that I have found with that, and it's hard to remember in the heat of the moment, ask for less, guys. So I was trying to get him to do a circle. My mission was to start rolling the hinds with him, and he's done it here and there. Not consistently yet, but he does get the concept. And I wanted to have a nice, good circle or two.
Did you get it?
Not very well. What I should have been happy with was a quarter of a circle.
Okay.
And I was asking for too much. So then, like some of the sayings out there is, you need to do enough to be effective. These aren't my sayings, guys, but they're the ones that stick with me. Do enough to be effective. So if I firm up with them and he does a step, that's not effective enough. So I need to give him more breaks.
Yes.
And then if it's really, really hard, then maybe you need to go, instead of a circle, just clearing the front and then just asking for a step or two. And then just keep building on it. Once they have success, they're going to be like, yeah, I like being with you because I'm having all this success.
They do like success. Yeah, I love it particularly when working with their feet, introducing their feet. We covered this the other day about when we say, "Are you ready?" Remember that? Yes. And it seems like minutes, and they don't understand that we're saying, they don't understand the vocabulary. They know after that familiar phrase that we're going to do something. And they actually take several seconds, 10, 20, sometimes maybe 30 seconds. You think they didn't hear you, and then suddenly they'll lean over into you like that. Just a little bit, and maybe tip their head and give you an eye. And they're literally expecting you to do something now. And they're far more relaxed when you confront load them that you're going to do something. And they're thinking you're probably going to slide your hand down a leg and try and lift up a foot. If you give them the courtesy of time to process that you're about to do something, they're a lot less stressed and far more cooperative. And I'm guilty, I know MaryJo is too, of sometimes we're on the time, we have to get all this done, and maybe we forget to wait for them to say, yeah, I'm ready. When they will literally lean over and look at you. They will get trained that phrase, "Are you ready?" means you're going to do something. And that is such a removal of stress when you give them that notice that you're going to do something.
It's like they know that you're coming and they're expecting you, so they prepared themselves.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that stands out to me, so Dan mentioned feet. Our farrier has been teaching me how to trim. and we were getting squirrel trimmed up. Now he was really kicky with his back feet, so I was a little bit nervous. We did 2 front feet in one day, and then another day we did 2 back feet. But I don't know why, but you had, oh, I always have Dan double check my work just to make sure it's even, because I'm not a professional, guys. I am learning to trim feet. So then I was having you check, and I was explaining to him how the farrier taught me to hang onto the foot to check. And then I went to go explain something more, and I just reached down and I grabbed, or touched more so, touched Squirrel's other foot, and he about jumped out of his skin. He didn't do anything naughty, but he about jumped out of his skin. Now, every single time we've done anything with his feet, he's like so chill about it. But when I didn't let him know I was coming, because normally I touch him at the top of their shoulder and I rub his leg down, and then I'm like, foot. But yeah, when I just grabbed it, he about fell over. He was so terrified.
You know, think of it similar to in a saddle riding a horse, mule, or a donkey. You know, there a little pre-cue that you're gonna do something. Maybe you pick up that rein, you slid your finger down a little bit, or you're leaning a little bit. You usually do. You might not even know you're doing it. You're subtly letting them know that you're about to ask for something, and they can start thinking about what's he gonna ask. Sometimes we forget to do that when we're on the ground. That's where we say, "Are you ready?" You could think of your own phrase. We just use, "Are you ready?" And that cadence is a pre-cue, and it is profound. Like with the story MaryJo was just telling a squirrel, he didn't give that notice that we were about to do something, and even though it was in plain sight, he wasn't mentally prepared for it, and it was, you know, he's a bit of a drama queen, but he was not happy with it. Whereas we had let him know we were going to do that, it would have been smooth.
And it was like he let me trim his feet. The first one took, I think, 25 minutes, and the next one took 15. And then when I did his back feet, you know, I record a lot, but I don't make a video out of everything, right? Because you guys would have so many hours of, it's kind of like watching paint dry when you're working so slow. But his back feet went even faster, and his back feet took forever to get through to him that you don't have to be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to eat you.
Right?
He was pretty kicky at first.
Remember when we were sizing up squirrel? I'm like, oh man, we're going to need like hockey clothes. Like we're going to have to dress like a goalie with a mask.
Dan made a joke. He sawmills, and he has you know, like logging, right? So he has like sawmill, like it looks like a hockey helmet.
It's a chainsaw helmet with the steel mesh and the earmuffs, and I got the really thick chaps. They're about this thick. They're chainsaw chaps. I had considered actually wearing them early on, and Rachel's like, "No, we'll just slow down and do it right." And slowing down, you know, we're not talking about, well, cut your expectation in half. Cut it by 95% and slow it down.
So on that note, when we were working with Squirrel, now he's through the Forever branded, right? So we've already found a home for him, and she's doing the paperwork, but you know, we already have the home. We just have to get him to graduate. One of the things he has to be able to do is pick up his feet. So with some of the other donkeys that we've had, I got a mini and a mini mule and a bonded pair. This is how I found you guys. Oh, now I can't see it again. There it goes. The mule is such a sweet little guy. It's taken a long time to gain the trust. They can really take forever to gain the trust. I do not want to break that trust we have built. Really need to get his feet done. We love to get a head collar on him. Oh, no, I lost. Okay. Any ideas? Oh, so you're talking about a halter. Since watching and following, we have come so far. Donkey time is a real thing. Yes. Okay, so not breaking the trust. So we're talking about feet at the moment, but I'll relate it back to the halter. When I was noticing how kicky Squirrel was, we had success with one. Yes, a halter. Okay. So we had success with one. It was Romeo. He had a crack in his foot, and it was like emergency. We had to trim him. But he didn't. He kind of acted like he might be willing to bite me when I would go work his feet. So we used a rope method, and it took, was it like 2 hours to get one foot? And we were just picking it up, or did we trim it that day?
No, it got trimmed that day, but it was quite a gunfight.
Oh yeah, he fought.
And it was horrible. I mean, it was a situation where time wasn't an option. This hoof was split. And there could be medical issues if it's not addressed. And by using the Scotch hobble, if you will, a little bit more caveman style and outside of our comfort zone. But since it was medically necessary, we had to get it done. That was really hard on the trust. It took some while.
Well, no, we kept the trust even though we cavemanned it because after we were done, I
That's
spent
right,
another half
yes.
hour just with the lightest pressure saying foot, and then he would shift his weight and I would release the pressure. And then I'd do it again until he was picking up his foot on his own with the rope.
Oh
But
my
when we
gosh,
started,
that's right.
he fought like he was dying.
That's right.
So it worked super good on him. And then after we were done with that, then I would lead him around and just do more things that he could do. So when we talk in the videos about do what they know first, right? So you're going to review everything, even though they already know it. Like, what's the point? Review it. And then when you're all done with your session, go back down that ladder and review the things again because you're building the trust. So when we did that with Romeo, we didn't lose any trust. And then when I did trim him a second time, right before he went to his new home, he acted like Seamus with his feet. He was an angel. It was amazing.
And that's because after, I had he and Juliet confused. Yeah, after the horrible gunfight of getting that 1 foot trimmed, which it was not fun, MaryJo stuck with him and reduced what she was asking and made it fun and not scary. And she did indeed maintain the trust with Romeo, or Romeo trusting us, by not ending the minute the horrible deed was done. She continued, she kept lighting up what she's asking and ended on a very light, happy, musical note.
All the way from picking up the foot to walking and leading around something he knew how to do. So it worked so well with Romeo when Joe, I wanted to get his feet trimmed before he left too. And he wasn't very good. He wasn't very confident. So I thought, well, maybe I should just use the rope thing with him. Dan was ready, like, we gotta get rid of this donkey. He's gonna kill you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I bought life insurance on her for that one. That was.
But I didn't listen, guys. He's like, I don't want you working with that donkey anymore.
So she'd sneak over there when I wasn't around. And, what are you doing? Nothing. Why do you have a lead rope and Joe?
Don't know.
Yeah, but moral of the story is she got through to him.
No ropes.
Yeah, no ropes. He was surprisingly compliant when he left for his new home. Boy, there are some more stories, aren't there? Remember
Couple, yeah.
Juliet leading training? That one, I really messed up the trust there. She wasn't ready to be led, but I was leading her when she tried to jump through the panels.
She knocked over panels in the wild pen.
Yeah. So there is, and that ended on a very bad note.
So
there was no calm down time. It was.
And there could have been. If we could go back and do that over after she broke through the panels, then it would be going back to just like having her on the lead rope and then maybe a step and then either standing like a statue or petting on her. And you kind of have to play those by ear because sometimes what they need is pets and other times they need you to be a statue.
And she was a donkey that wasn't. She was beautiful.
But what happened was she was the first one with a crack in her foot. So our farrier came over. We were going to give her drugs to get her trimmed. And he's like, oh, no, we don't need it. And didn't use it. He got her trimmed. So her feet were safe. And the trust was lost after that.
Yeah.
But it could have not been lost if she would have been the last one our farrier did that day. And then I would have stuck with her so she could go back down the ladder. Right? Because what we asked, what she was capable of, I could pick up her feet and hold them on my knees and stuff. But for the stranger danger to come do it was too much.
You know, when we talk about this openly like this and sharing our experiences working side by side, kind of whiteboarding here, I'm learning as we're going forward. So many of these negative, horrible things we have to do in animal husbandry, it can be mitigated by de-escalating after the task is done. Don't just turn them loose the second you're done and say, okay, we'll see you next time. Like, be like MaryJo. Be slow and stick with it, and de-escalate the tasks down to things that they know are really easy, that are not scary, and just make sure you end it on a really happy note. And I really think it probably would have saved us some work.
Oh my gosh!
If we had followed our own recipe that we're talking about right now.
It's hard to always follow the recipe. Do you remember when we were down at the barn. It was dark out. Joe would be Cisco on the channel. Pancho and Cisco, the two oldest ones at the time that we had done. But Joe was the one, he would let us come and touch him and pet him. We could halter him and all that stuff. But the look in his eye said, I'd be just as happy to kick the snot out of you. So we had slowed everything down. One day we were down at the barn and it was dark out and our son was sitting down by the hitching post and he stood up and it scared the gajebers out of Joe. I stood down there for another hour in the dark with him to help him come down and feel pretty confident that he was okay. And I really wasn't doing anything. I was standing with him. I can see a mouse crawling around on the floor, you guys. Gross. I was standing with them waiting for the signs of relaxation. So we know what the signs of anxiety are with the ears and the eyes and the mouth and the tail, the tenseness. The signs of relaxation would be licking and chewing, lowering of the head, the body feeling relaxed, maybe having some curiosity again. Curiosity might be that they're looking at you out of the corner of their eye. And if they do that when I'm standing down while they're calming, I would totally like even turn and walk away and hope that maybe they might be interested in coming to follow you, getting that curiosity again. Do you know, Dan, we've already been going for 20 minutes. Holy moly.
It feels like we just got here.
Okay.
There was someone with their mule. They were concerned about breaking that trust.
Yes.
If you're still on, have we answered any of your questions? Let us know, how we can better help you.
Now, the last way they might show resistance, remember, it's just a way for them to communicate, is to push into you. So I remember we were loading up 4 donks, and they didn't want to go in the trailer. They were wilds. So they're in the chute, trying to get them in, and they were pushing on each other so hard. I think one of them sprained his ankle, trying to get him into the trailer. So when they start pushing on, that can be a sign of anxiety, that they're nervous, and they're trying to protect themselves. Their head is giant. Their heads really are giant. And they're, even though they'll turn and kick, donkeys don't kick with their fronts super duper often.
I've never been kicked by the fronts.
We've never been kicked at all.
Yeah.
So their fronts, they don't kick with them super often, not that they can't. Their backs, they can absolutely turn and kick mighty fast. But when they start pushing into you, like let's say you're trying to put that halter on and they're pushing in, that could be anxiety, could be nervousness. So if I'm working on halter training a donkey, I'm going to start with the nose, neck, target training, and then remember to take everything in a baby step. So put it on their nose, but don't even try to tie it. Play with it, like almost make a game. How many areas of your face can I get this halter on and you'll be okay with it?
Yep.
And then work your way back down. So if we start with nose and neck for target training, then I'm going to be picking it up over their neck. And then the next step will be to put my hand around their neck so they're changing eyes behind them. And then I'm going to grab it from underneath and latch it underneath. Not latch it, just hold it, like pretending.
And do a pretend knot. Go through the effort of actually making a knot, but don't make a knot. In case things go south, you can get that off real quick.
If they need to go away, we don't want to stop them.
Never.
All of this is at liberty. I don't bring any wilds home with a halter on them.
Yep. That's such a big part of the gentling process, is getting a halter onto them.
And it's a trust thing. It's huge trust.
So you think a freshly gentled wild, when I first started scratching the withers, and we're touching now, I've noticed that when I'm scratching the withers, the first place they're usually comfortable being touched, a lot of them will lean in and get real close. And you think that is that a fear?
It can be.
An insecurity? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer type thing.
Because they can protect themselves with their heads so much. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop what I'm doing, but I'm going to recognize that this can be a fear. Squirrel was doing a thing when I go to start tying on the halter, he'll start pushing into me, where I kind of brace myself and I'm not moving. But I just recognize that that's probably a fear, like, oh, I don't know, are you going to do something I don't like?
Right.
Yeah. So when they're doing it, build up the ladder, the target training to the haltering to every step, and then work your way back down. And then stand with them like a statue for a while till they start to have their lips relax and lick and chew or blow. And then give them the Oochie Goochies. Dan's the Oochie Goochie man.
Gucci Gucci Dan. How we doing on time here?
We got to be done, guys. We're way over the time. So
All right.
we will be back tomorrow at 6:30, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Send me your questions and we can talk about more questions tomorrow, guys. Thank you for tuning in again.
Have a good night.